Last week, on August 30, 2023, South Carolina Circuit Court Judge Daniel Coble quashed an indictment related to a harassment case in Richland County, South Carolina. Now, you're probably thinking I'm about to rail on a judge for being too lenient to a violent offender, and while that may have been the case, this story is going to go in a different direction. Because in this case, Judge Coble quashed the indictment because he found a, quote, obvious forgery on the document. Now, wait a minute. A forged indictment? How the heck does that happen? Well, according to our sources, Coble found a discrepancy in the signature on the indictment that was presented to him in court with the original document. They were not the same signature. Now, we started doing some research on this, so we started pulling public record files. We found this case, and we found as we were looking through the attorneys of record on the case that the defense attorney was none other than Jack Swirling. Now, if you followed this news outlet, if you followed the Greg Leon trial, which our Special Projects Director Dylan Nolan covered extensively, you know who Jack Swirling is. He is, along with Pete Strom and Bart Daniel and so many other great, Beatty Ashmore, so many other top attorneys. He's one of the best criminal defense attorneys in South Carolina. Dick Harpootlian and Jim Griffin, let's throw them in there as well. One of the top legendary defense attorneys in South Carolina. He's been doing it half a century. So I called Jack. I said, Jack, what's going on with this case? He told me that in his 50 years as a practicing attorney in South Carolina, he has never seen this before, never seen something like this before. And he confirmed that, yes, the signatures on those indictments did not match. How could something like this happen? And more importantly, how many times has something like this happened in Richland County? Now, if you follow this news outlet, you know Richland County. It's in the center of the Palmetto State. It's the home of the capital, Columbia. It's become a very violent place recently. There's a ton of violent crime that moves through here. And we've covered in the past disputes between local law enforcement leaders and the solicitor there about whether or not that violent crime is being handled appropriately, whether these cases are being moved through the system appropriately, expeditiously. And we've also, of course, challenged a lot of the rulings that have come out of the Fifth Circuit, including the controversial Gerard Price release, where a convicted gang leader, convicted killer, was allowed out of jail early through a shady backdoor sealed order from a retiring judge and a powerful lawyer legislator. That's a huge controversy that we covered. But in this case, we've got a situation where a potential court official is the one miscarrying justice. But this case isn't just about forged signatures, folks. According to our sources, we've got fabricated documents, destroyed documents. We've got people suborning perjury as it relates to an internal investigation by the Fifth Circuit's office. And most recently, in the aftermath of our reporting, we have learned that there is a state law enforcement division investigation into this alleged fraud. Every time we turn around, people, if it's not the judges, prosecutors, now we got court officials being accused of misconduct and impropriety as it relates to the dispensation of justice. South Carolina, we've got to do better. This is a system that we all rely on to uphold the most basic tenets of our society. And if we can't get this right, none of the rest of it really matters all that much. But again, you count on FITSNews. From the very beginning, we have been fighting to hold all of these institutions accountable. Keep it tuned to us for the very latest on an emerging grand jury fraud scandal in South Carolina's 5th Judicial Circuit.